Hi there, I'm Tomek from Felt Instruments and this is LEKKO. LEKKO is a cinematic piano library that's been performed as softly as possible with a very thin layer of cotton placed between the hammers and strings. Besides free acoustic articulations, you're also getting a collection of unique sound design patches created by processing the samples with a collection of beautiful vintage analog kit and tape. So let's jump straight in. First up, we have these beautiful soft sustains. So here's how they sound like. I'm not a pianist, so don't expect anything spectacular happening here. But as you can hear, it has this beautiful, warm, almost fragile kind of sound. And this is a result not only of how it was played, but also of a signal chain that was used. This library was recorded using a close mic'd combination of tube microphones going into tube preamps, some ribbons, and a handmade boutique large diaphragm condenser in the middle of the piano, giving you this really beautiful, emotional, and intimate, but at the same time really detailed sound. Let's take a look at the interface. What you can see here is that you have a row of knobs that actually allow you to shape the way that the piano sounds. So the attack and release are quite self-explanatory. You can make the attack of the note either normal or softer. What you can notice right away is that even though I press one note a few times, the sound keeps changing, and this is a result of the fact that each note was recorded 5 times, so you're getting this really organic variation every time you hit a new note. So the other controls allow you to dial in some special effects. So we've got tape echo, which was sampled from a vintage tape echo, basically, as it says on the tin. So as you can see, every time I move one of these controls, the corresponding illustration above it changes. I can also change the parameter by dragging directly across the shape. So let's say I want to have less reverb. Let's turn the tape echo off as well so we can hear it better. Here's without it. And here's with it. So both the echo and the reverb are very characterful. And the idea here is that you possibly already have quite a few effects in your palette. So instead of going for like this really realistic reverb or clean echo, I sampled my hardware so that you get this vintage characterful sound that you don't have already. The other control is sample start, and the reason it's there is because there's this really short gap between when you hit the key and the sound is produced. So the idea here was to really preserve the sound of the finger touching the key and the hammer striking the string. But if you don't want it, or just want to make the performance tighter, you can always push the sample start to reduce the delay and make the piano more responsive. I prefer it in the default position, but if you want it tighter, it's there for you to have. And the last control here is key release. So this controls the loudness of the noise of the key being released. So if I press a note, you can hear this sound as the key is being released. And if I turn it down, the noise is gone. Okay, so this is like the main articulation of the acoustic piano, but I have also recorded some beautiful non-traditional articulations that allow you to perform the piano in a different way. So what you're also getting are these characterful shorts, and these were inspired by an album called A Stroke of Blue by Enzo. If you haven't heard it, check it out because it's a beautiful piece of work. So on one of the compositions, he's using the sound of a finger-muted piano played in a very rhythmic way. I wanted to create something in a similar style. So what you get is a patch that goes through 2 layers of finger-muted shorts. And then if you press the note hard, you're getting this ringing sound. So the finger is lifted off the string and the note is free to ring. So it goes like this. This allows you to create those evolving rhythmic patterns with a constantly changing texture. So the last acoustic articulation that I have recorded are these beautiful irregular tremolos. They come at 2 intensities, so if you play the keys softly, you're getting this sparse cloud of unsynced notes. I could listen to this for days. And if you play it harder, you're getting a more dense texture. So and this sounds especially beautiful at the top. Really beautiful stuff. So these were the acoustic patches, but they are really only half of the story. The sound design of LEKKO is quite unique. It's been created by processing the sounds using a variety of techniques. I've loaded the first sound, which is called fade in, and this is what it sounds like. So as you can hear, there is a lot of movement in this patch, and some of it is actually baked into the sound by using random modulation and granular synthesis, but some layers are introduced by using a mod wheel. So if you listen closely to what happens is as I push it up, what you hear is that the stereo image fills up and also some irregular sounds are introduced. And these were created by actually recording the tremolos onto a cassette, slowing them down a few times and applying some distortion and other processing. You can control the loudness of this layer by using the irregular pulses knob. And Another layer that's here is the tape noise. And you can either make it louder or softer. This sound was actually designed as a pad, but what I have realized after the fact is that it works really nicely as a keys type of sound. So if I just reduce the attack and maybe turn off the irregular pulses as well, this is what it sounds like. Yeah, so let's check another one out. So again, a very unique, beautiful texture that I don't think you can get anywhere else. The controls are kept consistent. The only thing that changes are the knobs to the right. So what you have here is control over some random tape processed things. And the sine wave recorded through a vintage valve preamp. By the way, you can map these to a MIDI controller or your DAW, which actually allows you to change the sound on the fly. This is one of my favorite patches in the library. It starts with a sound of a piano being modulated by rain that actually increases in intensity as you move the mod wheel. And then some vocal pads are added to the sound as well, giving you this very beautiful organic texture. So again, this organic moving thing is really a theme here. All of these patches have a lot of motion and emotion in them that you can really shape and perform using the mod wheel and the controls that you have in the interface. So again, a really beautiful, textural, unique sound. What you can hear in this patch are 2 layers of additional octaves being introduced. And these were created by processing the sound through the Mutable Instruments Clouds module and modulating some parameters on the fly. And what you can also hear is that they have some rhythm built in. So if I press one key and then another after, you're getting this constantly changing texture, and some really nice polyrhythmic stuff can be had by playing the chords in a slightly loose way or introducing one note after the other. What you also get are two patches where the piano was recorded onto tape and then played back at half and quarter speed. So what it gives you is just another texture. It's even softer, a bit more noisy and wobbly, and really very analog sounding. So let's hear what it sounds like. This is the half-speed version, and I really love this texture and I feel that it sounds really unique. And the great thing is you can download this patch for free and try it out yourself. The quarter speed sounds even more wobbly and distorted. It works surprisingly nice as a bass sound. If you're after this Boards of Canada, really lo-fi and distorted sound, the quarter speed might be just what you need. So these were the Afterglow patches, and what you also get is this folder called Layers, and what you will find there are individual sounds that were used for the creation of the Afterglow patches. So you can basically create your own beautiful evolving textures based on the sounds that were created for this collection. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this quick little preview of LEKKO, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.